Welcome to Library Connection. I'm Mandi from the B.B. Comer Memorial Library in Sylacauga, Alabama. We're taping Library Connection inside the library today because of the coronavirus and all the things that are going on with that. Joining me today is Catherine Dobbs. She's our cataloger. Thank you for being here. We are at work today.
We are.
Thank you for being willing to come on and share about some of the resources we have. We're all stuck at home a lot more than we have been before, but this is a wonderful time to do some research. And Catherine's going to talk to us about the genealogy resources. We have wonderful resources in the library.
Yes, we absolutely do.
But right now you're not able to come in. So we have a lot of wonderful online things. How would we want to get started? If, like, I've never done any genealogy research on my family, how would I get started?
Well, for those that have never done genealogy before and are wanting to get started, now is a great time while you're at home and looking for something to kind of occupy you during this time. But the biggest thing to remember is start with the member of your family that you know the most about, whether that's you or your mom or your dad. Get that important information from them, like their date of birth, where they were born, who their parents were. Find out who their sisters and brothers were, because when you go to things like census records, sometimes you might have people that are on there that there's several names over and over that you'll see, and those siblings' names will help you know this is the household that I'm looking for. Find out when they were married, if they ever were married, where that was, and if it's somebody that has passed, try and get that information about where they're buried at.
So we need to have some things jotted down before we get started.
Absolutely. You want to have some kind of base information to go on, because if you go into it blindly with no information, you're going to be kind of just spinning your wheels saying maybe that might be the right person, but maybe not. So having that information that you know beyond a shadow of doubt is correct will help you know that you're on the right track.
All right. Now, tell me where we would get started.
Great places to get started are online resources like Ancestry. A lot of people are familiar with them. And also online sites like FamilySearch.org that would be available for free online for those that might not be able to necessarily pay the fee that you would normally pay for Ancestry.
Let me back up to Ancestry. It's normally not free. It's free at the library
in-house, yes.
But since we're closed, it's not normally free just at someone's home. They have to pay.
They typically have to pay that fee. But again, like I said, things like FamilySearch.org would be available online. Very similar in styles, so they're easy to use. Okay. You would just need, that foundation information of the name of the person that you are looking for. Again, dates that you would need to plug in to help narrow it down, or you're going to end up with thousands and thousands of hits and not exactly know where to go from there. So having that information beforehand for when you get started is very important to be able to know where to go from there. Also, we have Heritage Quest available as a database through our library. They can contact the library and we can provide that access number to them. It's a great source for census records, which are great for people that are, maybe wanting to know where a family member lived during a certain time. Also gives clues as to sisters or brothers for an individual that they may have not have even known existed. So also a great resource. There's sites like Find a Grave that are very beneficial in finding out where family members may be buried. I know I've used it a lot myself, and it is definitely a great tool, because from tombstones we can find out when someone was born, when someone passed, exact dates that we may not have known. Also, if it's a family plot or something like that, we'll also be able to determine maybe other family members that we didn't know exist.
Right. Because if you actually go to the grave, then you see several other
exactly. Or it might be, most husbands and wives were buried together. Right. Well, maybe someone was remarried, and maybe you wouldn't have thought that that person even remarried. I know there's been instances in my family where there were marriages after someone had died or passed, that unless you have some kind of count or record for it, you wouldn't know. And maybe after they remarried, they had even more children that you didn't know. So it's kind of a puzzle that just keeps growing and growing. The more information you find, it just leads to another bit of information, and you just have to fit all those little pieces together to get the whole picture. So it's great fun. I mean, I truly enjoy it. And I think most people that are interested in family history and genealogy research also really enjoy it. So.
And maybe you haven't, that's not a thing you've tried to look up before, but now's the perfect time.
Now is a great time. Most people are sitting at home, like I said, trying to find ways to fill that time. And now's a great time to maybe talk to family members over the phone that you hadn't been in touch with in a while, and be able to ask their stories, get information from them. Stories from family members are great resources that most of them should be handed down from generation to generation. And if they're not told and somebody's not there to listen to them or to record them, then they're lost. So now's a great time.
And what a great way to share all this with your children.
Absolutely.
Let them be a part of it too. So we've got Find a Grave, Heritage Quest, FamilySearch.org, Ancestry, which normally there's a fee, but right now they're offering it free to the public. I believe, is this the one you have to call?
Yes, there's actually information available. Later on we'll show that email address, but they'll actually send an email to an APLS staff member and be able to get that login information, so that for the moment they'll be able to access Ancestry for free at home, thanks to the Alabama Public Library Service and Ancestry. So.
All right, that's right. APLS is Alabama Public Library Service, and they are stepping up, as are so many other people, in making things available for us to do here. A few of the other things I'll talk about before we go to commercial, we have books for children. Capstone Books are available online for children to read or to read to them. Avondale Books are the same way, to find those online. Something for your kids to do during the day or as part of school, since we're learning during the summer, not at the school actually, but at home during the summer. So lots of other activities we can tell you about to do during the summer. We're going to pause for a commercial break, and I hope you'll join us when we come back. I'll be talking more with Catherine Dobbs, our cataloger here at the B.B. Comer Library.
Coosa Valley Medical Center, one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama, is also Sylacauga's largest employer. Services from the emergency room to surgery to cancer treatment to post-stroke care. You won't believe what's right in your backyard. It's Coosa Valley Medical Center in Sylacauga. So, if you're sick in Alabama, choose one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama. That is Coosa Valley Medical Center.
Marble City Pharmacy in Sylacauga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our knowledgeable pharmacists are always available for questions about your medications or advice on taking over-the-counter products and supplements. Our friendly staff can assist you in choosing from our full lines of compression hose and medical equipment. And don't forget our gift department. We have a great selection of unique gifts for every occasion. Stop by and see us today. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
Things a little bumpy in your driveway? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Welcome back to Library Connection. I'm Mandi Cantrell with the B.B. Comer Library in Sylacauga, Alabama, talking with our cataloger here at the library, Catherine Dobbs. We've been talking about genealogy resources, which we have a lot of in the library, but since we're closed right now, people have a lot of time at home. I know we were talking about this earlier with the pandemic. You have a lot of time at home to do a lot, and people are looking for things to do, and we certainly can provide you with a lot of activities.
Absolutely.
And looking up your family history is a very worthwhile activity. I know you said you've done some with your family.
I have, and I've enjoyed it. It's nice to know that I've got something that I can pass on to my son. He's small right now, and right at this moment, it might not be super important to him, but there will come a day that, it will be interesting to him to learn who his great-grandparents were, or his great-great-great-grandparents were, that he might not have any other way to find out that information. So it's something I truly enjoy doing.
And we've talked a lot about some online resources. And you talked about when we get started, we need to have dates and things. What are some documents that we need to have in front of us?
Well, some good places to start if you don't have someone to talk to in your family that can provide those dates and places and things are things like birth certificates, death certificates. Those provide places, dates, parents' names, a lot of information that you might not be able to find in other places.
Right.
Census records are great sources of information to find out where someone lived, find out who was in the household at the time, give the names of the mother and the father and the sisters and the brothers.
Wow.
Now, older census records get a little bit more tricky because they start doing numbers instead of names, and that's why it's so important to go to other resources. Family wills are great. A long time ago, there was a lot of people that did wills, and it was something that was just very common, and they always listed all of their children, all of their family. So even if you came to a census record that said where someone lived, but it didn't give the family names, if you could find a will of that person that you can match where they lived at the time, then you'll have a list of those names of their children.
Okay, right.
And that kind of information is so important. Marriage records are great because that provides, spouse names. Be able to match a man to his wife, to be able to say, hey, this is the right person, these are the right children. You want as much of a paper trail as you can possibly get. Military service records are great. I know a lot of people are interested in things like the DAR.
Yes.
Where, they're interested in service records for the Revolutionary War or for the Civil War, or some people, just any kind of war. I think a lot of people have interest in knowing their family that fought for their country.
Oh, sure, we do.
So those are always great resources. Cemetery records are very beneficial because, again, you have burial information there.
Just for those birth and death dates.
Absolutely.
Very important.
And back to the death certificate.
Yes.
I mean, it's also important to know maybe the cause of death for a family member. Because if you're trying to gather information about medical history for your family, you might have a medical condition that you weren't aware of, but if you start going back to family over generations, all of a sudden those cause of death start popping up. So it's a great tool for that. Obituaries are a great place to start. Obituaries will usually list where someone's being buried, their next of kin, a date of death. Those are also great sources. Family Bibles are very important, and it's great if your family does have one. Many years ago, that is the only way anyone had to record a birth in their family or a death in their family. That's how you proved who you were. You took your family Bible and you presented it.
Goodness.
My mother had to do that to get a Social Security card and get put into school. Mm-hmm. Present that showing their lineage within their Bible, and that was good enough at that time.
Wow,
so
I think too, a lot of people are named for each other. There might be John Smith Jr., the third, or cousins and uncles, all family names, which can get confusing if you're going back 100 years.
Absolutely. I think it's common in every family. I know in mine, I think I had 15 Samuels, either a first name or a middle name or in there somewhere. And it does get very confusing when you get those names that are so very close to. But at that time, it was important to them to share that and to pass that down and to pass those names from generation to generation. I was named after my mother and my grandmother. That was just something in my family that was important. So,
and then name changes. I know my mother was an Adcock. Sometimes it was ADCOX, and sometimes it was ADCOCK. Same family, but somebody decided to change the names.
And that happened a lot, especially when people came over from other countries. And also it happened that with census takers, when they were doing the census, a lot of them would spell things the best way they knew how.
Right.
So it might not be spot on. So when you are checking those records, be mindful of that just because the spelling is not exactly right, it still could be the correct person if other information in that record matches to what you're needing.
Right.
So always be mindful of that, because you might have a name that's spelled with an A in one place and an O in one place, but they're the same person.
Right.
That's just...
And you only know that by verifying it with other data.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Other information that you have available. Also, be mindful when you do census records. All of a sudden, you might have a person pop up that you never knew was part of your family. Oh. And a lot of times, if someone was visiting, when they did censuses a long time ago, they would just make a list of whoever was in the house at the time.
Oh, goodness.
So someone that was visiting might have been added, and they might have actually been part of the household, but they were there at the time that the census was taken.
So they're there for a few week visit.
Yes, I think over the years it's gotten a little bit stricter than that, but it was different times, so it was done a little bit differently.
Really good time to plug to fill out your census form if you haven't. It's very important.
Very important.
I think the last thing on the list was newspaper articles.
Newspaper articles are great. It's great to find information about maybe events, things that your family did. I know things with schools are often put in newspapers. Maybe if the information about places that they worked would be in there. We had a local paper, the Avondale Sun here, that most people that had any dealings with the mill would be very familiar with. It was kind of like the Facebook of their time.
That's what I've heard. That's all they had at the time. I think that's a pretty neat resource that we have. We'll be back after the commercial break, and I'll talk some more with Catherine about the Avondale Sun and some more of our other online resources that are being made available.
Coosa Valley Medical Center, one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama, is also Silicaga's largest employer. Services from the emergency room to surgery, to cancer treatment, to post-stroke care. You won't believe what's right in your backyard. It's Coosa Valley Medical Center in Silicaga. So, if you're sick in Alabama, choose one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama. That is Coosa Valley Medical Center.
Marble City Pharmacy in Silicaga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our knowledgeable pharmacists are always available for questions about your medications or advice on taking over-the-counter products and supplements. Our friendly staff can assist you in choosing from our full lines of compression hose and medical equipment. And don't forget our gift department. We have a great selection of unique gifts for every occasion. Stop by and see us today. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
Things a little bumpy in your driveway? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
welcome back to Library Connection. I'm Mandi Cantrell, talking with Catherine Dobbs, our cataloger, and a lot of other things. Catherine, you do a lot of other things at the library. I'm so glad you're able to come in and tell us about some of the things we have available. We finished the last segment talking about the Avondale Sun, and not everybody may not be aware Avondale Mills was such a huge employer in this area for years and years. And
Yes.
this was a newspaper they put out every so often.
Yes. It was a lot of mill news, but it wasn't just that. It was community news, wedding announcements, birth announcements, who was visiting who at the time.
Yeah.
I know my mom and dad's wedding announcement was in there. And they were young and, but everything went into the Avondale Sun. It was all news, and it was good news. I mean, it was something that I think the people enjoyed. So, but for anybody that was a citizen of Sylacauga or had a family member that did work for Avondale, it's a great resource.
Right. And it's not just us. It was maybe the Pell City branch, different branches.
Absolutely.
So, that would help to include some of that. So that's good to use if you're doing research. You
Yes.
get births and deaths and marriages and things like that.
Information, yes. And like I said, even knowing where your family worked, if they worked at the mill or any other place, that is also important information given by census records and things like that.
So if someone wanted to read the old Avondale Suns, they go to our website. Is that
Yes.
correct?
They go to our website. It's one of our databases that we have available. You'll just click on the Avondale Sun link and just visit through that, hosted by the Birmingham Public Library.
Great. Wonderful. Well, that doesn't wrap up our genealogy. I'm just reading my notes here. Ancestry. We were talking a little bit how to access Ancestry at home.
Yes. A little further information about that is it is accessible for the residents of Alabama. I just want to stress that point. We will provide a email address on the screen, but it's referenced at apls.state.al.us, and you will use the subject ALE access. And this will provide you with login information to be able to access that for free right now.
Right. If you have any questions, just call us at the library 256-249-0961. Right. Well, now we have a lot of other online resources on our website. We were talking earlier about Chilton. This is not something I have used that much, but my husband probably would. It's auto repair.
Auto repair, maintenance, warranty information. It is a great resource. Chilton Manuals, if anybody's had to purchase one, are very expensive. I mean, if you're actually buying the manuals. So have this available online where you have access to multiple manuals. You might have 2 or 3 different cars. And so from one site, you will have access to information for all of those. So.
And to get into that, you just call the library and we'll give you the password.
Yes, that's correct.
And we are here 9 to 2 most days. So just give us a call. And a lot of this information is changing day to day.
Yes.
But we'll be glad to help you. We're trying to even beef up our Facebook presence now. So if you have not liked us, please do so you can follow us. We're putting out online story times. That's something I've been doing. It's been so fun to read a book and sing a song online, something for the kids, maybe to keep them engaged in reading and things like that. So that's been a lot of fun.
They're fantastic.
Oh, thank you. They're a lot of fun to do. It's not as much fun as in person with kids, but it's still fun. Also, tell them about the app that we use.
The Libby app.
Libby by
We do have Libby available for our library patrons. It's an ebook. It's not just adult books. There's also children's books available, young adult books available, and there's also audio available because there are a few that might be impaired in some way, and then they need that service. So we do have audio and just the ebook format.
Magazines?
Magazines are available. Most of the, I would think, popular magazines actually are available for them to look at and check out on there. There's no overdues to worry about, so which is definitely a plus. All you will have to do is have a library card number with the library and just log in.
If you have a card, just go get the app. It's Libby by Overdrive, and the app is free. Download that to your phone or your tablet, your smartphone or your tablet. If If you do not have a card with us, just give us a call and we can give you a number. It's called a computer use only card, which will allow you to be able to get into
Yes.
to Libby.
It'll be used for online services, eBooks, or anything that we might have on our database that would be an online service that you could use your library card for. So.
Right. And now I have the correct name of the Capstone Books. We have Capstone Books available also in Avondale, and we're going to put that up on the screen so you can see how to go to those. Those you do not require a library card. You just go to the website. We're giving you our username and password. Lots of great books. The Capstone Books, I know we have a little girl who used to call them the singing books. They would sing to you a lot of wonderful things. At Avondale are a lot of the books that we use that I think could be used for teaching about animals and space and math and all kinds of things like that. They're great. Homework Alabama is also available. Homeworkalabama.org, I believe, is available. Normally it's been available 3 to 10 for homework help, test prep, resume writing, all of that. But now Alabama Public Library Service is making it available all day, since a lot of kids will be learning at home during the day.
Yes,
so,
it'll be very beneficial for those students and for their parents as well.
Right. Learning Express.
Yes.
Learning Express is another one.
Yes,
too.
it is. It's also available as a database through our website. That is something that they can create an account with their library card number, and it is a great tool for maybe students or even adults that are needing a little preparation or practice for tests such as ACT, SAT, and ASVAB tests. And there's a lot of other tests on there for nursing. There's just a wide variety of tests. So now might be a great time to spend doing that at home, getting ready for maybe some of those upcoming tests or career changes.
Well, if you can tell us just a little bit about the QR code books too.
Yes, we do have QR code books available through the library. Some of those are Abdo or learner books. And those books, if you go to our website and go to the catalog, you will pull them up and you will see a note on the screen that says QR. If you click on that link, it will pop up a little QR code label. And after you do that, you can scan it with your tablet or your phone. If you have 4 or 5 children, they could all scan it with their device, and everyone in the household could read the same book at the same time. And it's a great also learning tool for those that might need a little extra reading time, but also help for science or math, because we have a wide range of topics. So.
Well, I would encourage you now to go to our Facebook page and follow us. We're putting out all the resources we find that are available to you, putting those out as soon as we can. And I thank you, Catherine, so much for being here, and thank you so much for joining us today on Library Connection.